Hello, welcome back to the shop. I've got a load of abused chisels that I'm having a go at sorting out.
That one's been left outside for a fair while. That one's been used as a scraper. It's a shame really because they are pretty good chisels. So I'm going to see if I can put some life back into them. I bought this Stanley sharpening system. I got it from Screwfix. I'll put a link in the description. We'll see how good it is. I know there's other sharpening systems out there. I just went for cheapest, as I normally do. When I put this wire wheel on in my last video, one or two comments about these strands rubbing on the casing. But I think it's just a case of having these as a must. Start with this bad one and see how much rust I can get off just with wire brush to start with. The wire wheel was just taking the surface rust off the top. It was still leaving the pits underneath. You can see how badly pitted it is on the end. I tried it for a bit longer just using the wire wheel, and then I found some old rubbing compound that we used to use for rubbing cars that after they'd been painted, been sprayed, and that made it dig into the steel a lot better and got rid of a lot of the pits. I'm sure there's some better stuff out there, but that's all I got on the shelf. I couldn't tell you where I got it from. I've had it for years. Getting a lot better now. That's after about I think I've been doing it for about 10 minutes. I'll take a little bit more work on the back and then I'll use some wet and dry. I went up in grades with the wet and dry from 400 to 600 and I had a quick rub over with 1200. Seemed to do the trick. I've got the majority of the rust off now. It's not too badly pitted anymore. So I've just installed it in the honing gauge. You get this little guide. You put your chisel through to the end, and that gives you the angle of the cut. There's your different degrees. When you've set it up, you flick that back, click it in, and just tighten it up with the two nuts on the bottom. It is a bit cheesy, but you get what you pay for in the end. Now I don't know if I'm doing this right, but the oil just soaks straight into the stone. Whether it's because it's a new stone, it needs to be primed, I don't know. So then I started adding a little bit of water and then putting a drop of oil with it. That seemed to work a lot better. The oil that come with the kit was a very light oil, very similar to sort of 3-in-1. That's the first one done. It's nice and sharp. It's not turned out too bad. I'll be honest with you, it's took me about an hour and a half. On with the next one. Before I put the honing guide on, I'm going to try and level that up a bit on some sandpaper. Right, I've flattened the end off on the sandpaper, so all I've got to do now is put an edge on it. Well, I've managed to get 3 done. You've got nice edges on them. As for this Stanley sharpening kit that I got from Screwfix, it's not bad. These plastic wheels, I can't see them lasting long. If you're just touching chisels up because you haven't abused them like me, I think it'd be perfect. But I think there's better things out there. As far as the sharpening stone goes, mixing a little bit of oil with water seems to work. It works a lot better than just using oil. As for the chisels, I've managed to do 3 in about 3.5 hours. I think it's because they're in that bad a condition. The wire wheel works great. Putting a bit of rubbing compound brings them up even better, lovely and smooth. But I think the moral of the story is, don't abuse your chisels. Then 10 minutes and you'd have them all touched up on end and away to go. Thanks for watching, see you next time. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget the thumbs up. I try and put a new video on every week, so why not subscribe? Thanks for watching, see you next time.